literature post-independence history of India is in which paper? Good. 1. Shumangi, you are there. You were there yesterday also?
Yeah, I was there. I could not switch on my camera yesterday.
It feels, I was thinking कि आप ही होगे, but then I thought कि maybe some other, because you didn't turn on your camera, na?
Yeah, I was somewhere out, इसलिए. But
it feels strange, no?
No, it's okay.
She's my classmate, Shubhangi.
Now you're my teacher.
Yeah, now you're a teacher.
It's good to learn.
Thank you. दीपांशु है तो आया नहीं?
मैम इवनिंग बैच है, मतलब इवनिंग होना चाहिए.
So sir has basically, you are sir?
Not there for practice.
Okay, for them. Okay. What about yesterday वाला आपने? He did come? Not even in the morning class? Morning कौन सी हुई थी? Space. Okay. So basically, sir has divided you into online and offline classes. Now all of you know this. जो आपकी साइंस एंड टेक की क्लास है वो मंडे और ट्यूसडे होगी.
Yes.
11 से 12:30. ठीक है, फिर 12:30 से 2:30 होगी पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस डेली. एक वीक का काम है, ये हो जाएगा. ये कोई बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक नहीं है, राइट? देन आफ्टर दैट वेडनेसडे थर्सडे 11 से 12:30 है इकोनॉमी. फ्राइडे इज ऑफ for 11 to 12:30. ये फ्राइडे सारा दिन ऑफ. क्यों सारा दिन क्यों ऑफ? I don't think so. Friday is off. Full नहीं off होगा. पक्का? सब तो कुछ कहीं बच गया. Then Saturday Sunday you have 3 to 5 geography and 10:30 to 2:30 society. Okay. So today we are beginning with post-independence history of India. Now, why do we study post-independence history of India in paper 1? Why do we need to study post-independence history of India? Online? Dipanshu, you tell me, why do we need to study post-independence history?
नहीं पता मुझे.
अभिषेक कैमरे बंद करके देखिए. अभिषेक, आई एम आस्किंग यू ऑनलाइन.
नहीं पता.
क्या वो ले जाओ. यार मैं इंटरनेट इज नॉट वर्किंग. 15 मिनट. Okay. So we study post-independence or history of India for 2 reasons. Number 1 reason is after we got independence, there was a shift of what? Power. From Britishers to Indians. What did Britishers give us? What we made out of it? That is important to study post-independence history. because all the administrative procedures, the quality and everything that we inherited from Britishers is there in India in present times in modified versions. The second reason is because since India gained independence, India truly became a democratic nation, and then started the era of you can say that era of political parties in India. Was it present before? No, it was not present. In this also we will study different eras. Then first of all it was communist, then how other parties emerged, and what is the present situation. It is a very, I would say, not so very important topic, because from the past 3 years, no question has been asked from post-independence Indian history in mains. This is your mains top topic for you. It is not for your prelims. That is why I also told you that we will finish it in 5 to 6 classes. Maximum 5, not even 6. We will choose only selected topics. But if you want to have in-depth understanding or you have interest in this subject, then you can read NCERT of post-independence history of India. Okay, and this is class 11th or 12th NCERT. It is a 212 pages book, and it explains all that happened post-independence, all the major issues that were there till present times. Clear? Now, if I have to tell you what kind of questions or what kind of important topics that we have here, is that we do not need to focus on this. No. The primary focus is the issues. What was the major issue immediately after independence? Communal riots. Developmental issues. Integration of states. Clear? Then we will also study nuclear policy of India. Foreign policy of India, very, very important. In this also the most important theme that emerges is linguistic reorganization of states. Okay. So there are only 7 to 8 topics that we will need to do for this topic. Now for this topic, I would advise you that you take notes seriously, because your notes will be more than sufficient to prepare for your this topic for mains. Okay? Clear? You do not need to read anything. For other subjects, I tell you that go back home and consolidate things for yourself. For this topic, you do not need to do anything. Okay? So first of all, we'll quickly begin with our first topic, that is colonial legacy. Colonial legacy. Its fallouts and achievements. What is colonialism? What is colonialism? You know colonialism? So you know? Please.
And then a foreign state where
Yes. Yes. Whenever a foreign nation or a foreign country occupies other country's territory for political benefits. Clear? That is known as colonialism. Clear? What is capitalism?
it is economic policy how it is based on our money that whatever thing, whatever entity earns money, it is considered as a right.
Sir, the basic difference between capitalism and socialism is the who holds the property, who controls the resources. In capitalism, it is controlled by private people. In socialism, it is controlled by the society or you can say the government itself. Clear? This is the basic difference. All these things will come, the rest of the things you have spoken of, they will come up. They are not very important points, okay? Clear? Now the difference between capitalism and socialism is also clear. What is colonialism is also clear. Now we know that we all of us know that what all Britishers did wrong to us. You can name them. Please start explaining to me what were the fallouts of British rule in India. Very good. This is very important and the very first most important point, drain theory or drain of wealth. I explained to modern history students how it was going on. I know how it was going on. Yes. The Britishers exported raw material from India to Britain and it was very cheap. Then they manufactured goods with the same raw material in Britain and used to import to India what? Finished goods. And they were very, very costly. Not costly, but very, very costly. Now, when these products entered into Indian markets, the local industry was, completely vanished. It was completely gone. There was no handicrafts. Earlier, it was a self-sufficient economy, but now it became solely dependent on British goods. British goods flooded the Indian markets. That is why in the national struggle, you will also understand one of the medium of the struggle was picketing. You know picketing? There is a shop, let's say this is the shop, here British goods are sold. Then the Indian people will picket it. Means they will not let any customer enter there or get their products. This is always picketing. This was one of their medium. Anything else? This is the first reason you have to write it down also. Or should I tell why I dictate it properly? Next. इसी के साथ सोचो ना देखो ड्रेन थ्योरी हुई इंडस्ट्री कहां पर है ब्रिटेन में व्हिच मींस इंडिया में इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट तो होगी ही सो देयर वाज नो और यू कैन से लैक ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट जो कुछ दो चार इंडस्ट्रीज थी भी इंडिया में दे वर ओन्ड बाय इंडियंस क्लियर when this phenomena is happening, you understand the concept of, you have studied trade in economy? You know what are savings? Savings concept is clear to you how it happens? Savings is excess of over expenditure. This is a definition. Excess of income over expenditure. Clear? This is a technical, or you can say economic definition of savings. Now, when you will have excess of income over expenditure, you will save. But was it there in India? In case of India, we were spending enough. We were falling short of expenditure. There was no development at all. Whatever we were importing at a very high price. So there was lack of domestic savings. इसका सारा स्टैटिस्टिक्स ना मैं साथ में जब थ्योरी लिखवाऊंगी तब कराऊंगी, ठीक है? Okay, so I have taught you land revenue systems also. So what was the outcome of those land revenue systems? That there were exorbitant land revenues charged from the peasants. Their land ownership was taken and was given to which? Zamindars. You are aware of it? Now this was such a huge problem that people did not have land at the time of independence. Only few zamindars had land, okay? That is why the very first agenda, issue that Jawaharlal Nehru wanted to resolve was land reforms. Now, land reforms was not only to distribute the land to landless, but it was also that a ceiling should be fixed on the land. Ceiling, you understand? कि इतना land, इतना तो land उस बंदे के पास होना चाहिए. Exorbitant land revenue charged from the PCS. Now, another problem that emanates from this, I told you, what vicious cycle starts here? Debt trap. Now this will result into debt trap. The money lenders will become ultimately more powerful. Farmers will again lose whatever they have. What is the result of this also? Debt trap. Suicide rate increased. Now, when the person who is earning income will commit suicide, he will not think of the family that he has left behind. Let's say he has 2 children. Now, those 2 children, can they ever afford education and a job in their life? No. They will again do what? Start earning to repay the debt. And this is called as the vicious cycle of poverty that was given to us by Britishers and is still continuing in India. No matter how proactive measures we have taken, but this is there. This is still there. Because of the mindset of people. Why do you think that Right to Education Act was brought in? Why? And it was made compulsory that from 6 to 14 years, it is compulsory that you study in a school. Why? Yes, Tushar?
Ma'am, as education, it's a fixed asset which will yield us more benefits to the people, as with education they can be employed more and hence their income can be increased.
Sir, they don't want employment. Let's talk to new people. Shifali?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, because education is the most important like thing which can build up the people's mind.
Okay, Neha? Meenu?
And so that they can aware about the thing going on in the market or in the administration section, maybe for that.
Okay, Mankaran?
Ma'am, as the Article 21 says, the life with dignity, and dignity cannot be achieved
Sir,
without
there is an
education.
entirely different article, Article 21A.
Exactly.
So, right to dignity has to do with something else and not with this right to education. Anjali?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell me why our Right to Education Act was brought in. Sanjay Anuraga bolo.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੀ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਹੈ ਉਹ 14 ਇਅਰਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਲੇਬਰ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਭੇਜ ਕੇ
Yes, this is important because if you are not sending this age group to school, you are ultimately promoting what? Child labor. Do you think a parent who is poor enough can afford that his student is sitting at home idle? No, he will make him also work. That is why it was made compulsory. From which age group? 6 to 14. And now, according to the new education policy of 2020, from 3. It has been made that from 3 to 14 years it should be made compulsory because there is no logic that education technically in India starts from 3 to 3.5 years. This is the primary education that you receive here. And 6. So it was well thought of by the experts that before the age of 6, it is very important a child should be sent to school because till the time he achieves this age, he should be very well versed with numbers, alphabets, because they are teaching number and alphabets to him at the age of 6 years, which he can learn at the age of 3 or 4 years. All of us learned at that age only, and we were fortunate enough. Okay, so this is the reason that I have told you why a Right to Education Act was brought in, because poverty was so looming large on Indian society that even after so many efforts of the government, this was brought in which year? 2002. 1947, 2002. What happened in meanwhile those years? The person would send his children to work. That is why child labor, child trafficking, and all related issues were not coming under control. Child labor is still there. The only thing is this, that we have certain provisions. And you know what is sorry state of affairs again is this, that there are various acts. There is some Factories Act. Let's say there are a number of acts, and you know what is the age of the child that they define? There is no universal definition of a child. Someone says it is 16, someone says 14, someone says 15, and someone says 18. So if there will be no coherence or no uniformity in the age of considering a child, then ultimately you are again creating confusion. You are giving leeway to whom? The industries, those who are employing childs in their factories. Day before yesterday, or I guess someday, I was telling you that the fashion industry is not sustainable. We were talking about sustainability. Why it is not sustainable? If you ever see, women use highlighters over their eyes, or it is called as eyeshadow something. You know the shimmer that is picked up from the stone, they have to scratch it with their own hands. Go and check some documentary on child labor in fashion industry. You will feel so sorry for them. They are so small kids and they are doing it with their hands. When such conditions are prevalent in society, can we ever think that India will develop? Forget about development. Will there will be equal development? There will always be inequality and injustice. 1947 and 2002. You know, education has always been neglected in India. Can you give me some example of this? Can you think of something? No. I am saying why education has always been neglected in India. I told you, what is the GDP that we spend on education sector? 2.some%. This is the lowest GDP expenditure by a developing nation as India on education. When you will do this in your paper, you will understand what is happening. You go to colonial times here. Again, to understand this concept. What was happening in ancient and medieval India? What was the status of education in those times? Only ancient and medieval India. Yes. Yes, Kajal. What was the status of education in ancient and medieval? Was it? Not audible. Tushar?
Ma'am, it was but only about related to ma'am Vedas and all those.
Abhishek?
Ma'am, only a particular class was getting the education.
वो एजुकेशन उस टाइम ज्यादा प्रमोट नहीं करते थे क्योंकि मुझे ज्यादा समझदार वगैरह जो इसलिए lower caste
No, I am talking about ancient and medieval times, not colonial times.
It
Yes.
was mostly provided by the religious entities like madrasas and
It was only in the sector of religion. And that too a few select people. Few select. When we moved from here to here, the Britishers took advantage of Indians' illiteracy. You have to understand. Is it possible that you are smart enough, you are educated enough, and you are befooled? No. But if you are illiterate, you do not have senses, you do not understand the nitty-gritties of things, you can easily be befooled. How Britishers befooled us? Brains. All those policies, subsidiary alliance, doctrine of lapse, dual government, double government. Till our last breath, we thought that we should be given more representation. But why would they give you representation? You are illiterate enough. Forget about their illiteracy. What is the present condition of education of our present politicians? By the way, I was talking about colonial times. So now when the In the initial times, the Britishers thought that Indians are not even, they do not want to get educated. But with the effort of few people, a voice was risen. They said that if you want that Indians should participate in your government, then first teach them. Then the debate about education starts. What was the debate at that time? That whether Indians should be taught in English or in their vernacular language. This is called as Angelicist and Orientalist theory. We will do it in morning. Okay, so eventually what was decided that Indians should be taught in English because number one, our purpose will be solved. Britishers' purpose will be solved. And second, it will look that we are doing good for the society. We are modernizing them. We are westernizing them. This was the stage where we left our culture. Also, this holds importance for your art and culture classes. Because at later stage, through paintings, Abhendranath Tagore, I am forgetting whether he was the brother or the cousin or chacha of Rabindranath Tagore, I am forgetting. He raised voice against colonial art. He promoted indigenous art. Why all this was happening? Because there was enough of westernization, enough of English domination. So when it was decided that English will be the medium of language to teach Indians, after that the debate again started that there are not enough colleges in India. Various education commissions were set up which wanted to promote college education. After that, it was not done so. Then the debate started about vocational education. When India got independence, there were only 3 or 4 colleges all over India which used to give vocational training. Now this debate is still there, but the main issue that I want to discuss with you here is about only one thing which we are not even right now focusing upon, and that is mass education. Mass education. What do you understand by mass education? What do you understand by mass education? ऋषभ, संदीप नहीं आया क्यों? तो ये तो क्लास तो लगानी थी, ऑनलाइन तो नहीं है संदीप. Dipanshu, you tell me. I guess he's gone.
Yes, ma'am.
Dipanshu, you tell me what is meant by mass education.
मैम मतलब ज्यादा मतलब पॉपुलेशन को एजुकेट करना, मतलब एजुकेशन प्रोवाइड करनी, मतलब एवरीबॉडी ले लें.
Anurag, what is mass education? Saurabh? Large number of people. Large number of people. Mass education, you are correct. Educating large number of people. But what is the criteria? How it should start? It is divided into primary, secondary, and tertiary. We are doing very good on this part, primary education. We have achieved 100% attendance here. in primary education, but we are lacking on these fronts. Then comes college education. Forget about university education. All of you are graduates, but you do not want to get post-graduated. There is skills mismatch. Although all these things that I am teaching you right now, you have already studied in your schools, but yet you have to take coaching to sit in exam. We are lacking on 3 fronts in each sector. Number 1, it is quality. Number 2, it is man force. And number 3, it is infrastructure. We talk about every sector. Pick up health. All these problems are there. Pick up education. All these problems are there. You think on these lines. Why only these problems are existing, and that to each in every sector? Why are we not giving quality education to students? Why do we still have so many vacancies? And why are we still lacking on infrastructure? Why? Because we are not giving this sector enough importance. Do you know what is the percentage that defense sector receives? Defense sector. You have to check for this year's economic survey. This is 2020 at least, I guess. 6.8% of GDP being spent on defense sector. Sir, if you spend this much on education sector, na, everything will be sorted. Other than that, the problem of research, ये तो और भी बड़ी है research की problem. India is producing a lot of patents, but they are all duplicate. We have achieved, I don't know how many thousands and lakhs of patents, but they are not worth enough. No one wants a paper being written by an Indian to explain, or they are not being taught in international universities. And the amount of GDP that we spend on research is 0.01%. Anyways, we started from right to education, okay, and we are here. Okay, what else? Tell me. Tell me. Talk about health also. There was lack of health infrastructure. Okay, how many of you know the story of Mother Teresa? No one. There is a lesson on Mother Teresa in, I guess, 10th classes English literature. No? There is here. Okay, tell me, what did she do? Yes, they were suffering from what? Leprosy. You know what is leprosy? It is a skin disease. ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਕੋੜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕੋੜ ਉਤਰਿਆ ਆ. You do not want to touch that person, see that person, come near to that person. She cured them. And the place where she used to treat people was a mandir. It was a temple. I am not able to recall the proper story. We have also studied this, so that is why I have faint memory of it. But I know her. Okay, so she used that space. She was opposed by local people to such an extent that she was thrown out of this. But she continued to cure these people suffering from leprosy. Ultimately, one day she was recognized by some influential person and he was inspired and he praised her that you are doing commendable work. I will give you property, you continue with your work. This was where she expanded her work. She took nuns into her accommodation. You understand nun culture? Nun culture, you don't understand? They have to stay, celibate for their lives and work for the cause of society. All of you understand celibacy? Okay. So this is how she established her institution. She was interviewed after she got Nobel Peace Prize. You know, I guess all of you know that she got Nobel Peace Prize. She was interviewed. She was asked, tell us about yourself. She gave one line reply, which has etched into my memory so hard. Na? She said, you are asking me to introduce myself. I will. But when you will publish it, don't tell people about me, talk about my work. Don't introduce people about me, but about my, such a big statement to say. No? Such big statements come only when you genuinely work for a cause. Lack of health facilities. There were no health facilities, by the way. There you happen to be a lot of problem of plague. So how did the Britishers resolve it? They would burn the whole village. You have heard stories of this plague. The whole village was burned. This is how the Britishers used to give. There were no hospitals in those times. There were no hospitals. So what health policy did we follow after independence? It is 124 already. By the way, there were no hospitals in those times. Okay, there used to be local hakims or vads that used to treat people. There were no medicines of that sort also. Okay. Should we discuss all the problems or should I make you write first these? Because it is a heavy topic. Should we write? It is 124, right? I always think that I will finish the topic and then I start talking. Write down.
मैम
Yes.
मैम आपने इससे पहले भी लिखवाया है?
No, Ritika.
ओके मैम.
Write down colonialism and capitalism. नहीं, सिर्फ ये introduction है. Led to a complex integration of colonies. Led to a complex integration of colonies into the world. Into the world. Then start the first heading. It is colonial legacy Okay. First heading is colonial legacy, and then A point is fallouts. Fallouts. Number 1. Indian raw material. Coffee layer. Indian raw material was cheaply exported. Indian raw material was cheaply exported, and finished goods were expensively imported. You understand import export? Pushpinder? And British goods were expensively imported. It destroyed domestic industries. It destroyed domestic industries. Comma, handicrafts and handlooms. Handicrafts and handlooms. Ruined artisans failed to find alternative employment. Failed to find alternative employment. And crowded agriculture as sharecroppers. And laborers. You are getting me? What is happening? That a very skilled person who is producing such masterpieces is now forced to go back and do what? Agriculture. Clear? You written this? As sharecroppers and laborers. Modern industries that were developed were guided colonial interest and they were also stunted in their growth. They couldn't even replace the homegrown cottage industry. Before 1900, cotton, jute and tea dominated. And before 1930s, cement, sugar and paper dominated. Hello. हाँ जी सब भैया सामने है वो सीढ़ियां है ना वहां पर एसी लगा हुआ एसी के ऊपर रखा हुआ लेकर हाँ जी सीमेंट पेपर एंड sugar dominated. Hallmark of backwardness of Indian industry was virtual absence of capital goods. Hallmark of backwardness of Indian industry was virtual absence of capital goods and machinery industry. And machinery industry. If there will be absence of capital goods and machines, what is happening? There will be lot of import again of what? Capital goods and machines. Clear? This further worsen the problem because number one, you are whatever raw material is there, you are sending it to Britain. Now you have established factories in India also, I get you right. But for them, there is no equipment, no machinery, no capital goods. For them also, you are making India export these. This is what? This is again economic exploitation. Further expanding. Clear? Modern industry contributed only 8% in national income. Only 8% in national income. Whatever stats I am making you write, it is static stats. So you have to underline it and remember it to be used in your this paper. Clear? 8% national income at the time of independence. Electricity and banking were completely ignored. Electricity and banking were completely ignored. Have we achieved 100% electrification? No. Okay, which are those states where we have not achieved 100% electrification? You're guessing it right now, but a smart guess. Haryana is 100% electrified. है, केरला है, महाराष्ट्र है, मध्य प्रदेश है. Control your expectation. Rajasthan, Gujarat. How can you not name Gujarat? Delhi is 100% electrified. Some northeastern states are there. Punjab is not 100%. Delhi is obviously Delhi is the capital of your country. Okay, so you know the story of banking sector. Again, I will start talking. Huh? Okay. When you were kids, did you see any bank in your village or near your village?
Grain bank.
No. I'm talking about the batch, money batch. No, but are they there now? Banking sector has, got the true reforms. Now it is, such a good scenario about banking sector that you do not have only private or government banks, but you have cooperative banks. And this is where the success story lies. Cooperative banks. They are doing fairly good. Private banks are doing fairly good. Government banks, forget about them. They have all, why a merger and acquisition is done? How a merger and acquisition is done? You are not taught these things right now. What have you been taught? क्या पढ़ाया क्या इकोनॉमी में क्या चल रहा है? साड़ी एक की लगी है ना उन्होंने तो बथेरी लगी है. आज जीडीपी हो गया. मैं 2 हफ्ते पहले मुझे दो में जीडीपी चल रहा है. मैं वो एक्चुअली ना पिछले जगह नहीं चीज बना वो रिपीट कर रहा है online. I am assuming that your classes of economy must have been finished by now. Mankaran?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. It is yet to be completed.
When you will be appearing in UPSC?
I'll be appearing this time, ma'am, on 10th. मतलब some topics were done which were major for pre-point of view that were done already.
Sir, if you are appearing on 10th, then what are you doing in right now class?
I was asked to attend that.
This is a post-independence history topic, and that too for mains and 10th को prelims है, mains नहीं है. Your preparation is 100% serious. You are fully confident.
Not that confident.
Okay. So what about rest? New people? Neha, when are you appearing?
This year only. But this attempt is would be a recce attempt. So this is the reason we are attending classes right now.
Tushar, you?
Ma'am, next year.
Okay. Ritika?
Ma'am, next year.
Shifali Sharma?
Ma'am, I'm also giving this year attempt, but like not full preparation.
Minu?
Yeah, me also.
I am assuming that all of you will be having all the 6 attempts within your age limit, or you are old enough.
No, ma'am, I guess we all are having our 6 attempts in age.
Shifali, how many attempts are there? Middle category.
I have 6 attempts in general. Sorry?
How old are you?
I can't hear you. Sorry, ma'am.
How old are you?
25.
Ma'am, you should not waste your attempt, please. You know, if you are not, this is what happens. I don't know why do people sit in exam if they are not 100% confident. You know what happens afterwards? You are 25, you are sitting in 21 attempt. This will be counted as your first attempt. If you sit in any of the paper 1 or paper 2, since you say you are giving it as a demo test, I am not sure that you will clear it. You will sit again. All 3 stages. Does any one of you have that much surety that you will clear all 3 stages in your very first attempt? Are you confident enough? Do you think, guys, that life goes your way? When I started my preparation, not only me, but everyone, including myself, all my other teachers, they were 200% sure that I will clear all my 3 stages in very first attempt. I was also like you only. I went to give my 2019 was my first prelims that I gave. Now, when I sat in the exam, first of all, I should not have gone. I was also like you people giving a demo attempt. I was 21 years old that age. I was eligible. Then also it was fed to my mind that you have already taken coaching for so many months. You should sit in this exam. एक बार दे के देख लो, ये बोला जाता है. Now after the very moment I entered into the examination hall, I saw the paper. I was not knowing the first, second, third, 10th, 12th, 15, 16. I lost my confidence there and then. and I could only secure 72 marks. 72. And my preparation level was not even like you. I was confident that I could clear it. You know what happened afterwards? Nightmares start. You start thinking, what now? What will I do now? The questions will haunt you for a week. They will come in your dreams. ये तो आता था यार, ये गलत है, इसका तो ये आना था. It will haunt you, and what the haunting will do? It will reduce your confidence to such an extent you will forget about it कि तुम्हारा कोई भी attempt clear होगा. If you are really serious about giving civil services exam now, ask any expert or any of the previous year toppers who have committed this mistake. They will say, I should not have sat in the examination if I was not prepared. What is success? Success is preparation meeting opportunity. If you are not prepared, please do not sit in this exam. This is not a normal exam, college or something exam. This is going to determine your life. Okay, I am making you scenarios for you, ma'am. You did not clear this. Now this attempt, okay, you did well in pre, you cleared pre, but you left in mains. Your second attempt is wasted. Then it will be 2023. Third attempt, you clear pre, you clear mains, but you left in the interview. Then you start again 24. Your fourth attempt, pre clear, mains clear, interview clear, but you do not get a good rank. Will you be given enough time? You are a girl, a woman. Will you be given enough time to go through these circles? And will you be left with enough of dedication, level of passion that you have in this year in 2025 when you will be sitting for your fifth attempt? No. It is very, very unlikely. This is very uncertain. You have to understand this exam is very uncertain. It is not, whenever you see toppers interviews, what do they say? I did not expect it. I did not expect a good rank, such a good rank. Why? Because it is so uncertain. So many people sit in this exam. So should I tell you another thing about me? I sat in 2020's exam also, fully prepared, 200% sure that I will clear the exam. Only in the past week the result has come out. In the GS I got 1010 and in the CSAT I got 65.7 marks. 65.7. I missed out by 0.3 marks. 66 is the qualifying nature. It is 65.7. And when the result that came out, it was on 23rd October, and the next day is my birthday. I was very sure. I was preparing on full, on a full-fledged board. My optional was Punjabi literature, so I was going through that, and it was a shock for me of lifetime. That why? Because from all the answer keys for my GS, my marks were around 120, 125, and for CSAT they were around 68 to 70. This was a score that I also used to get while practicing mocks. So I was confident that I will get through it. I only used to attempt only that number of questions which would fetch me marks enough to clear the cutoff, and not more than that. Okay, so God, listen to me. I cleared this exam. Let's take a scenario. I had not cleared PCS exam. I would again be sitting in this exam on 10th of October. But the only thing that we are cutting out here is that I cleared exam. I got my foot fracture. In July, okay, which costed me 2 months, and I could not study. It took a toll on my studies. I was not confident enough that I would clear this. Again, 1 year of my life wasted. I would wait for 2020 to the attempt. Life does not go your way. Please, those of you who are giving this year's attempt, if you are not prepared enough, please do not sit in the exam. This is my humble advice to you. Rest is on you to follow, because it will take a toll on your confidence. It will not look as if you have not cleared it. What will other people say? Iska nahi hua, iska to hoga bhi nahi. This is what people has to say about you. This is what your parents will also say after your 3 or 4 failed attempts. They will also not stop supporting you. This is the sad reality of sitting in this exam. It is uncertain and hell competitive. So my humble advice to all of you who are sitting in this exam is, if you are not confident enough, then please do not sit in the exam. Another scenario is also there. Let's say you are 27 years old and this is your first attempt. You go. I will not stop you. But if only this is your sole purpose, you do not have any plan B, plan C, don't go. For girls, the life is it will take another toll on you after 3-4 years, when you will cross 27 and 28 years of your age. Marriage. The guy has, they have another circumstances. They should be financially independent, but for girls, there is no such restriction. Anyways. What did we write? Write down third point. Okay, the best, if you ever advise me, or if you ever ask me that, yes, Gursimranjeet, what is the advice that you would like to give yourself 3 years back when you started preparing for UPSC, I would say that, if you are really preparing for civil services, forget this thing that you will clear this exam in your first attempt. It is 100% sheer luck. Your placements speak there, okay? Not everyone is fortunate enough to clear this paper in first. Second advice that I would give to myself was, if I am not 100% confident, I should not sit in the exam. Anji sir.
इसमें तो बड़ी सब कुछ जो देखो इसको बिल्कुल साफ होगा ना, ये हाँ ये साफ है, सब सो जाएगा ये तो
क्या है सर?
पेंट
अच्छा
हाँ
ठीक है,
नहीं करा
नहीं करा लो, बढ़िया गल है, कराओ इन्हों तो करा लोगा
इन्होंने बट समझ
बुलाओ छुट्टी कर दे।
फिर 2 दिन बंद करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है शनिवार से शनिवार में आपको उठते ही है हाँ ये दिवाली नहीं जो बोला तो आपने उसको
And third advice that I would like to give it to myself, if you are preparing for civil services, do not tell it to anyone other than from the person from whom you are receiving your rent and your pocket money. This attempt I gave when I was at home. It was lockdown period. I struggled to study because in villages you know how it is, and since I had stayed out for almost 6 years, I was not able to get back and get adjusted to my home's environment. But the paper was very important thing for me, So I used to study on the rooftop of my house for whole day in the month of August and September. And now what, when I did not clear this exam, on 24th of October, there was a marriage of my cousin. So I had cried enough in the last night. My father came in the late night and I told him that I could not clear this exam, and he was very supportive. He is very supportive. So he said, "Koi gal nahi, fir hoya agli baar hogi." This was his wording when I could not clear this for the first time also. I am fortunate enough to have such parents, but all of us are not. When you will go to your house and for the second time say this thing that I could not clear even prelims, your abilities, your preparation, and whether you are made for this exam or not will be highly doubted. I was, you know what I was forced? I was forced to give banking sector's exams. But then PCS came, its notification came in December, and the exam was to be held in February. So I asked my father that give me 4 months. If I am not able to clear this exam, then I'll definitely drop this idea and will start preparing for banking exams. And then it was all God's grace. Pre was clear, mains was clear. I was confident on the very day that I used to write mains also. You know, we had only one paper in one day. I was confident at the end of the day. ये मेरा अच्छा हुआ. Mains cleared. Then interview. I went for the interview. My interview was for the on 4th of June. I was the last person to be interviewed and the only women to be interviewed in that day. So it went well. It went into my favor. I was clear. The interview clear already. Then it were there was physicals for DSP also. I cleared that also. And then on 16th of June, I cleared DSP physicals, and on 18th of June it was the result. And I got 6th rank. Straight IAS in 10 years. And I have all the age to become at least category 6. This is all God's grace and nothing else. And you know, I never had plan B. Never. Shubhangi knows me. Shubhangi, you know me that I have started, for this dream way back and when I was in graduation only. And it meant to me everything. I used to do other activities also, extracurricular activities, but I never lost track of my preparation or my dream. But not clearing 2 attempts will take a toll on you. And nowadays, clearing prelims is the toughest game. You know, even if you say कि मैम ये writing में दे दो, मैं आपको दे सकती हूँ. Clearing prelims is the toughest thing. Because if you do not clear the very first stage, how will you be confident enough कि तुम interview भी clear कर पाओगे? Interview में तो तुमको पता है ना कि कौन से बंदे तुमको interview करते हैं. If you have chosen this to be the aim and the career that you want to follow, please don't only take this as a job. Fit into the lifestyle of being a civil servant. I always say this. In one of my mock interviews, I was asked this question: how many times a civil servant works? I said 24 hours. 24 hours. Can you afford to say no if you receive a call at 2 a.m. in the morning that you have to be present at so place? Can you say no? But can you say no right now if some of your friends call you that at 2 a.m. that let's party? Can you say yes? The level of responsibility increases. Please follow this career only if you want to make it a lifestyle. And work for it. Yes. Comparatively, yes, I would say, because for example, I would say for 2-3 things it is there. Number one, there is no negative marking in your prelims exam. I don't know about Haryana and other states, but at least hoti hai? Okay. So when you have no negative marking, you do not fear marking 100 questions. But do you think so? The paper setters are not smart enough. They will set the paper in such a scenario that you receive only that much marks. What was the cutoff this year? It was 144. And in 2018, it was 192. The level of difficulty. What is the cutoff of UPSC in 2019? 92, 98. And what was the cutoff in 2020? 92. 92 for general category. 92 out of 200. Not even 50%. Can you see the level of difficulty that this paper posed to you? But is it possible that you score a stable score? If I can score it, you also can score it. There is a technique to it. I figured it out because of my teachers, okay? In the very first attempt, I was blank, but in the second attempt, I really worked hard. That was the only year I worked really hard. पता क्या है? उस दिन भी मैंने आपको बोला था कि आप अपनी परफॉर्मेंस कैसे जज कर पाओगे? आप खुद कमरे में बैठ के नहीं जज कर पाओगे. If you really want to work for it, you have to start expressing it yourself. You should start speaking in the class. You should give tests more often. You should write answers more often. Only then your performance will be evaluated. That where do you actually stand? Am I right when I say this? Second thing is this, that for mains, there is comparatively linear, it is lenient. The level of questions that you will get there, they tend to, get repeated over the years, but which is not so in UPSC. Also, they are fairly simple enough. Third thing is, in UPSC, you write in these sheets. You have to write like this. It is a vertical piece of paper. But for PCS, you write on a horizontal sheet of paper, just as you write your graduation exams. There you can write long essays. But here you cannot afford to write because you do not have the time enough. Third thing, the interview. The interview is the biggest challenge in PCS because here you will be graded. In UPSC, you are not graded. Clear? And then there are physicals, and then there are results. It depends on the number of vacancy of seats. Anything else you want to ask? It is comparatively easier till this level. If you can really put your hard work, put at this stage. यहाँ पर आपके कितने marks आएंगे? That is a luck's game, okay? That is on luck only. यहाँ पर आप really you can do well. And my focus was this one because my writing expression I have developed. It is fairly good. You have to practice also. Whenever I used to write the exam on that day, I used to finish it before 15 minutes. Sorry, not 15, like 5 minutes पहले. So I would decorate it. You know the habit, decoration, underlining, lining, ये वो चीजें. So PCS is a very small group of population. So we were connected on Telegram. The people who spoke about me, they did not know that I was also in the group. So they said कि एक कुड़ी है मतलब साढ़े बजे उन्हें 5 मिनट पहले पेपर करके पाया जिसे अलग वर्ड देखते हैं जिसे अंडरलाइन कर रहा थी ऐसा साढ़े तक पूरा ही होता है but they will not know how many mocks you have practiced before sitting in the exam. You have seen the golden boy's story, how he used to practice in the field, and he got the gold. But you know what has been put behind the gold? Anyways, we'll continue tomorrow.